Hey, beginners, today we have 5 great strum patterns to practice. One progression, but it's all going to be right here. So let's do this. Hey, Paul Zagorski here for PZ Guitar, your virtual practice partner. This is the place where we practice, we just practice. And it's a great place for beginners and low-level intermediates, so that way you don't have to waste time and figure out what to do. You just practice along with me. So there's not a lot of intimidation here. We just practice together. So today we're going to have 5 strum patterns, 1 progression, simple A and E chords. We've done them before. And so that way we can just practice on getting the rhythm down. So stick around to the end. I'm going to have some awesome tips, as well as the Chuck Norris quote of the day. And today's quote is a special one. So let's get to it. Let's practice. Hey everyone, here we go. Lab number 1 on the screen is going to be the strum pattern. And the suggested chords, or the chords that I'm going to use for today's practice session, just an E chord and an A. So here we go. Here's our first strum pattern. It's going to be down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So here we go. You ready? Let's get right to it right now. So it's going to be just 1/8 notes, up and down, nice and slow. Stay with me. Last time through. And on E. Terrific. Get ready for lab 2. Here we go, lab number 2, strum pattern. Same 2 chords, E and A. It's going to be down, up, down, down, up, down, change. Okay, so again, you're just going to miss on the and of 2 and the and of 4. We're just removing a little bit of what we had just done. So let's do this nice and slow. Last one. And on E. Excellent. Get ready for lab 3. Here we go. Today, here it is, the great pattern number 3 of the 5 great patterns that beginners have to know. Not have to know, but should know. So this is pattern number 3. Okay, same 2 chords, E and A, and here's our pattern. It's down, down, up, down, up. So you get the idea. Okay, here you go. A few more. And on E. You know what? Don't be afraid to accent some of the beats there, like I was doing on that particular strum pattern. Sometimes I was doing the accenting beat 1. Sometimes I was doing beat 2. So it's up to you. Just make it sound musical to your ear. It helps things go move along. Let's get ready to the next great pattern, number 4. Here we go. Pattern number 4 of the great patterns that beginners should know. Are you ready? It's the same 2 chords, E and A. So here's our pattern. The key here is keep your hand moving because you're going to have 2 phantoms here. You're going to have a phantom on the end of 2 and on 3. So it's going to go from a down strum, up strum, down strum, up strum. So it's going to be a little tricky. So we're going to do this one really slow. I keep saying that. Sometimes I just don't do it, but this time I will do it nice and slow. Here we go. Hey, stick around for number 5. Here we go. Great pattern number 5 for beginners. Here we go. It's on the screen. So here's our pattern. Down, up, skip, up, down, up. So you get the idea here. I'm going to do it a lot slower. Here we go. Three. Two. One. Hey, stick around for the tips and the recap. Hey, here's some tips that are great for this particular type of practice, and actually for any kind of practice. And that number 1 is, although I'm using the chords E and A, you could use any chords you like. I don't mean this to be overly prescriptive to use just E and A. I just want to keep it simple, because the big thing here is the strumming pattern. Once you get the strumming pattern down well, use G and C. Use a G chord. Use G and C. Use some of the other strumming patterns that we've done on the PZ guitar lessons. Make up your own patterns. So that's the first tip. The second tip is, I always say, keep your hand moving. It helps you with those ghost strums, like on the miss, on the and of 2 or on the and of 4. It helps you to if you keep your hand moving, it's easier to keep the rhythm going and keep it smooth. Another tip is, you don't have to do strum pattern number 2 was down, up, down, down, up, down, change. Well, this is a great opportunity to split that measure up into 2 different chords. Like, for example, let's introduce our favorite, one of our favorite chords in the chord D. So we could do in the key of A, it's A, D, and E are the 1, 4, 5. So let's do this. Down, up, down, E, and go to, and second half of the bar, and now go to A, now go to D. So the whole thing here is start expanding and experimenting. It's a lot of fun. You can any one of those patterns you can split and use any chord sequence you want. It becomes it's a really nice thing to try and do. It helps liven things up. Another tip is play with the dynamics, loud and soft. It plays really nicely. And here's another thing that you can do. Let me put my pick down. Use your thumb. Play it, a little softer. Which is another technique that you should also try and do, is play with the fleshy part of your thumb. And so it gives a whole different feel, it gives a different sound. So right now, let's go to the Chuck Norris quote of the day. This one, I actually wrote this Chuck Norris quote. I'm very proud of it. And I hope you guys can leave a comment as to your favorite Chuck Norris quote. Go to the link in the description. I have a link to Amazon for Chuck Norris gifts. These are not gifts for Chuck Norris. These are gifts for you, but they are about Chuck Norris, and some of them are just very, very funny. So today's Chuck Norris musical quote of the day. The ultimate Chuck Norris guitar progression is a roundhouse kick. Anything more is just jazz. Let me know your favorite Chuck Norris quote. Put it in the comment. I'd love to hear them. And so as far as the lesson is concerned, the practice here today, leave a comment, because I'm sure that you're not the only person out there that might have the same concern or the same question or the same suggestion. And so, again, I'm here so that we can practice together, and it's been a lot of fun. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, so that way you get notified, because I post all the time. And I hope to see you soon. And if this is your first time here, thanks for sticking around to the bitter end here. That's fantastic. And if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. And until then, keep practicing.